Luke chapter 22. The feast of unleavened bread, that is called the Passover, was approaching. The high priest and Torah teachers were plotting to kill him, but they were afraid of the people. Satan entered Judas, who was called Iscariot, who was one of the 12. He went and discussed with the high priests and Torah teachers and the temple guard how he should betray him to them. They were delighted and arranged to give him silver. He promised them that he would find an opportunity to betray him to them when the people weren't there. The day of unleavened bread arrived, and it was time to offer the Passover lamb. Yeshua sent Cephas and John and told them, "Go and prepare the Passover for eating." They asked him, "Where should we prepare for it?" He told them, "When you enter the city, a man will meet you carrying a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house he enters. Then he will show you a large furnished upper room. Make preparations there." They went and found it just as he told them, and they got everything ready for the Passover. When it was time to eat, Yeshua came and reclined at the table, along with the 12 envoys. He told them, "I had really wanted to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. But I tell you, from now on, I will not by any means eat it until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of Yehovah." Then he took ordinary bread, gave thanks, and broke it, and gave it to them, and said, "This is my body that is given on your behalf. Do this and remember me." After supper, he did the same with the cup. He said, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood that is poured out on your behalf. But look, the hand of the man betraying me is on the table. The human Son is going as it was determined, but I pity the man who does the betraying." They began to discuss among themselves which of them was going to do this. There was also a disagreement among them about which of them would be considered the greatest. Yeshua told them, "The kings of the nations exercise dominion over their people, and those exercising authority over them call themselves benefactors. But this will not be the case with you. Anyone who is great among you must be like the least, and the one who leads should be like a servant. Who is greater, the one who reclines at the table or the one who serves? Isn't it the person at the table? But I am here among you as one who serves. You are the ones who have stayed with me in my trials, and I promise you the kingdom, just as my Father has promised it to me, so that you can eat and drink at the table in my kingdom and sit on thrones, governing the 12 tribes of Israel." Yeshua told Simon, "Satan wants to sift you all like wheat, but I have prayed for you that your faith won't fail. So once you have returned to me, strengthen your friends." Simon told him, "Master, I am ready to go both to prison and to death with you." Yeshua replied, "I tell you, Simon, the rooster won't crow until you have denied that you know me 3 times. He told them, "When I sent you without handbags, wallet, and sandals, were you missing anything?" They replied, "Nothing." He said, "From now on, whoever has a money bag should take it, and also a traveling bag. Anyone who doesn't have a sword should sell their coat and buy himself a sword. I assure you that I will fulfill the passage." He was numbered with the transgressors. Everything concerning me will be fulfilled. They told him, "Master, here are 2 swords." He replied, "That's enough." Coming out, he proceeded as usual to the Mount of Olives. His disciples followed him. When he arrived, he told them, "Pray that you won't be given into temptation." He walked about a stone's throw away and knelt down and prayed repeatedly, saying, "Father, If you are willing, take this cup away from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." Then a messenger from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. And, being in agony, he prayed even more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. And he got up from his prayer. He went to his disciples and found them sleeping from sorrow. He asked them, "Why are you sleeping? Get up and pray so that you won't be tempted." While he was speaking, a crowd arrived. One called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. He came up to Yeshua and kissed him. He had given them the sign, "The one I kiss is the one." Yeshua asked, "Judas, are you betraying the human son with a kiss?" Those who were with him anticipated what was about to happen, so they asked him, "Master, should we strike them with a sword?" Then one of them struck an underling of the high priest and cut off his right ear. Yeshua said, "That's enough." He touched the ear of the man who had been struck and healed him. Yeshua asked the high priests, the elders, and the temple guard who had come for him, "Have you come out against me like you would a robber, with swords and clubs to arrest me? I was with you every day in the temple, and you didn't arrest me. But this is the hour when darkness reigns." They arrested him and brought him to the high priest's house. When Simon followed him at a distance, they kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and were sitting around it. Simon sat down with them. A young woman saw him sitting by the fire, and she began looking at him closely and said, "This man was with him too." But he denied it by saying, "Woman, I don't know him." A little later, someone else saw him and said, "You are one of them too." But Cephas said, "I am not." An hour later, someone else insisted, "This man was certainly with him, because he's a Galilean too." Cephas said, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about." Right then, while he was still speaking, a rooster crowed. Yeshua turned and looked directly at Cephas, and Simon remembered the Master's words, and he told him, "Before the rooster crows, you'll deny me 3 times." Simon went outside and cried bitterly. The men who were guarding Yeshua were mocking him, and blindfolded him, and struck him on his face, and said, "Prophesy! Who struck you?" And they said many other blasphemous things to him. At dawn, the elders and high priests and Torah teachers gathered together, and they brought him before their Sanhedrin, and asked him, "If you are the Messiah, tell us." But he replied, "If I tell you, you won't believe me. If I were to question you, you wouldn't answer me or let me go. From now on, the human Son will be seated on the right-hand side of the power of Jehovah." They all asked him, "Are you the Son of Jehovah?" Yeshua replied, "You said it. I am." They replied, "Why do we need any more witnesses? We've heard enough from his own mouth."